Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here in Helsinki. I'm Timothy. I'm the founder of WOODOO, and it's great to take this stage on fire to tell you more about our groundbreaking technology. So let me get straight to the point. Did you know that the construction industry is responsible for 2.5 billion tons of CO2 emissions every year? Just to give you a rough idea, that's more than all the cars driving on Earth. Did you know that by 2030 will be 6 billion people living in cities, according to the UN? So to provide housing to everyone, we'll have to build the equivalent of 26 times Helsinki in the world every year. So now just take a second to think about tomorrow's zero net carbon cities and how they could be built. Wood is the only construction material that grows by itself and stores CO2 instead of emitting it. But the problem is that wood shows 4 limits to become the material of the future. It burns, it rots, it has limited mechanical resistance, and it is expensive. Our startup has developed and patented a technology that overcomes this limit to make it the most performative material of the 21st century. So, you know, as an architect, I've always had a fascination for materials and how they could be augmented to serve futuristic purposes. One day I decided to switch sides and rather design under a microscope. My intuition led me to Harvard, where I worked in partnership with the molecular biology department, and through the lens of my microscope observing wood, I discovered 3 main qualities. The first is that wood is essentially made out of air, from 60 to 90%, with its cellular structure perfectly organized, yet empty and functional. Secondly, it holds precious compounds, such as lignin, that could be extracted and transformed into green energy. Lastly, the material is infilled with a bio-based monomer, making it extremely performative. So as a result, wood becomes waterproof, 3 times stiffer, fire retardant, and translucent. So, you know, let me get back to the clicker. For the past 6 months, we have received countless requests from the luxury, furnishing, car interiors, plus construction industries. This product truly has exponential growth drivers and would expand like wildfire internationally. So we have targeted a need for 1.2 million euros to start production to be able to generate 4.1 million euros within the next 3 years. Wood is the most performative material that we could build with. If the 19th has been the century of steel, the 20th the century of concrete, the 21st century will be the era of wood in the building industry and construction technologies. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'll do a very quick one, just to get an approximate idea. What's the gross margin of, let's say, production of a pallet of wood versus retail sale, or how are you calculated?
Great, that's something very important to mention. So basically, when we talk, well, this product won't tackle deforestation at all. I mean, we basically every type of wood can be turned into translucent wood, okay? But the potential here is to take unused low-grade wood and to transform into a highly performative material. So the raw material, you know, low-grade wood is 10 times cheaper than premium wood, basically. So that's like a first basically way to target like competitiveness. And then by extracting lignin and reselling it by transforming it into green energy, then it enables as well to reduce the production cost.
And just quickly on the cost, how does this wood compare to, for instance, concrete in construction?
Okay, so basically it doesn't target the same applications, but let's say that we are competitive for like versus concrete. We are competitive versus wood itself, and you know that wood in 2020 will be like a $230 billion in the construction industry. So
right,
wood has a market.
Thank you, WOODOO. We have to move on.
And this one is going to take it over.
Let's take the next one in. Thank you.
Thank you.